Welcome back to our series on the rightly guided caliphs. Today, we arrive at the final, poignant chapter in the life of a man whose name is synonymous with justice, strength, and humility. Umar ibn Al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him. As we've seen, Umar was not just a conqueror of lands, but a guardian of the people, a shield for the weak, and a humble servant of Allah. His leadership was defined by a profound sense of responsibility, a trait that only grew stronger as his rule expanded. Even as the leader of a vast and powerful state, Umar remained the same man who would patrol the streets of Medina at night, carrying sacks of flour on his own back to feed the hungry. He would listen to the complaints of widows, play with the children of orphans, and ensure that every person under his care, human or even animal, was treated with fairness. Power never corrupted his heart. It only deepened his humility and magnified his fear of the day of judgment. He saw his position not as a privilege, but as an immense trial, a heavy burden for which he would be held accountable by Allah. His life was a testament to the principle that a leader's true home is not a palace, but among the people. He once said, "If a goat trips on the road in Iraq, I fear that Allah will ask me, 'Umar, why did you not pave the road for it?'" This was the level of accountability he felt. It wasn't about public perception or political strategy. It was a deep, sincere conviction rooted in his faith. He understood that every decision he made would be weighed on the scales of justice in the hereafter. This consciousness is what made his rule so extraordinary and his character so revered. Now, let us turn to the day that shook the Muslim Ummah to its core, a day of immense grief and loss. It happened during the sacred quiet of the early morning, as was his daily routine. Umar ibn Al-Khattab stood before the congregation in the Prophet's mosque in Medina, leading the Fajr prayer. The rows of believers stood behind him, their hearts connected in devotion. It was in this moment of peace and worship that tragedy struck. A man named Abu Lulu, a Persian who held a personal grudge, emerged from the ranks and viciously stabbed the caliph multiple times with a poisoned dagger. The attack was sudden and brutal. Umar fell to the ground, severely wounded. But even in this moment of excruciating pain, his first thoughts were not for himself. As blood flowed from his wounds, his immediate concern was for the prayer. He worried that the congregation had been thrown into chaos. Weak and bleeding, he grasped the hand of Abdurrahman ibn Auf, one of the great companions, and pushed him forward, gesturing for him to complete the prayer. Imagine this. While facing death, his priority was the discipline, order, and continuation of the community's worship. His devotion to Allah and his duty to the Ummah superseded his own life. This single act speaks volumes about the character of Umar. It demonstrates a level of selflessness and dedication that is almost beyond comprehension. His life was so intertwined with his responsibility that even in its final, agonizing moments, he was the leader, the guardian, the shepherd of his flock. He ensured the pillar of Salah, the direct connection to God, was not broken. This wasn't a performance. It was the raw, instinctual reaction of a man whose entire being was dedicated to service and submission to his Creator. As Umar lay on his deathbed, his wounds proving fatal, his companions gathered around him, their hearts heavy with sorrow. Yet, in these final hours, Umar's mind was not on his worldly legacy or the pain he was enduring. His focus was on the hereafter. He was consumed by one overwhelming question, a question he asked repeatedly. Did I establish justice? Will Allah forgive me? Think about this. This was the man known as Al-Faruq, the one who distinguishes between truth and falsehood. Under his leadership, justice flourished. Empires were administered with equity, and the oppressed found safety. Millions lived securely because of his governance. Yet, here he was, fearing his meeting with Allah more than any earthly enemy he had ever faced. He asked his son Abdullah to place his cheek on the ground, a final act of utter humility before his Lord. He wasn't seeking praise or reassurance from those around him. He was preparing for the ultimate accountability. He understood that true success wasn't measured by territory or wealth, but by one's standing before God. His fear was not a sign of weakness, but the ultimate sign of his profound faith and awareness. It teaches us a powerful lesson. No matter how much good we do, we should never become complacent. We should always remain humble, seeking Allah's mercy and forgiveness until our very last breath. Even in his final moments, Umar's foresight and concern for the future of the Ummah were paramount. He knew that his passing could create a power vacuum, potentially leading to conflict and division. To prevent this, he established a brilliant system for succession. He nominated a council, a shura, consisting of 6 of the most respected and earliest companions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. These were men who had been promised paradise. He tasked them with choosing the next caliph from among themselves within 3 days of his death. His instructions were meticulous. He laid out the process, the location for their meeting, and even appointed his son, Abdullah, as a non-voting advisor to ensure fairness, but explicitly forbade him from being chosen as caliph, thus preventing any move towards dynastic rule. This act was a masterstroke of leadership. It established a precedent for consultative governance, reinforced the unity of the community, and ensured a smooth and peaceful transition of power. He wasn't just a ruler for his time, he was a builder of institutions. He left behind not just an empire, but a system of justice, administration, and accountability that would continue to guide the Ummah long after he was gone. The legacy of Umar ibn Al-Khattab is not confined to the pages of history books. It is a living, breathing legacy that continues to inspire millions around the world. What are the core principles of this enduring legacy? First, that true leadership is service. It's about putting the needs of the people before your own. Second, that true power lies in justice. A leader's strength is not measured by his armies, but by his fairness to the weakest member of his society. And third, that true success is found in the fear of Allah. It's the awareness that every action will be judged, which purifies intention and guides a leader to righteousness. Empires rise and fall, dynasties crumble, and borders are redrawn. But the principles that Umar ibn Al-Khattab championed are timeless. His models for public administration, his welfare systems, his emphasis on accountability, and his unwavering commitment to justice are still studied in leadership courses today. His legacy lives on in the hearts of those who strive for a more just and equitable world. He proved that one person, armed with sincere faith and a commitment to truth, can change the course of history and leave an imprint that lasts for generations. In conclusion, the story of Umar ibn Al-Khattab is one of the most remarkable transformations in human history. He began as a staunch opponent of Islam, a powerful man feared in Makkah. Yet, through the light of faith, he became one of its strongest pillars, a leader whose name would be forever etched as a symbol of justice and piety. His life, from his conversion to his martyrdom, is a powerful reminder that with sincere faith in Allah, anyone can change for the better and achieve greatness, not for themselves, but for humanity. He remains a timeless example of leadership, integrity, and unwavering submission to God. May Allah be pleased with him, and may He grant us all the strength and guidance to learn from his incredible life and follow the path of truth and justice. Ameen. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of Umar al-Faruq. If you found this series beneficial, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content that aims to inspire and educate. Until next time, peace be upon you.